Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I wanted to talk about rental prices here in Portugal. It's now summertime of 2024, and an article was just published, that doing some statistics with the INE, which have done several videos on referencing, they have kind of a lot of statistical information on Portugal, that rents continue to increase, most recently going up like 7% in some places on average. 2024, I think the expectation was with the NHR going away, the tax regime ending, that there'd be less people interested maybe in moving to Portugal or coming here. We have seen more supply of houses or apartments either up for sale or up for rent. So supply is increasing, but equally demand must be as well, because you wouldn't be able to keep charging more for rent without getting a diminishing return. At some point, you hit a tipping point, and then you'd have to charge less because you wouldn't have as many people looking at property. But more people are coming to Portugal than ever from all areas of the world. And for example, our neighbors, who are just a couple of doors over, we're here in Lisbon, the Lapa Estrela area. They are going to be moving in a couple of months across the river to the Almada area, so south side of Lisbon, just to save money on rent, because their rent here is increasing. I think they said 45%. They just can't afford to do that. Now, assuming the landlord must think that he or she or they can get 40% more rent, as opposed to having the place empty. But I think that's going to be excessive based upon what I know what they're paying for rent. But I just wanted to let you know, because so many people that are looking to move to Portugal, you see lots of videos about the affordability. And I will say, if you're coming, especially from the United States, if you're coming from New York, LA, San Francisco, where property prices are outrageous, maybe even outside the DC area, I get it. Yeah, makes sense. But there are many places where you could be living in the US that the property prices are much less than what you see here in different parts of Portugal. So I want to make sure, and that's just for US. There may be people moving from many other countries where they might see the same situation, where some parts of the country are more expensive, some are less expensive. But here, when it comes to rents, although there is more supply that Idealistia and other places are saying is available for people, rents in general are going up, and especially in Lisbon and Porto. So the NHR hasn't really slowed down much of anything. There's still more people moving or looking to move to Portugal from more places. Most people that come look to rent versus buy, and I think the owners and landlords here know that, so they're able to charge accordingly. I think some of the prices that they're getting is ridiculous and astronomical, but as long as people keep moving and they're still willing to pay the prices, the landlords are still going to be able to get that. But I just wanted you to see this, because as you continue your thoughts on where you're going to move, whether it be Portugal or another country, just want you to see that prices are still going up. They're not necessarily plateauing. And there's one point I want to touch on, one last one before I end here, that one of the reasons, not the only, but one of the reasons is the period from 2012 to 2022, so kind of financial crisis here in 2012. There's a 10-year period where Portugal is at the bottom of the list, or near the bottom of the list in the EU, for new construction projects, whether it be new residential or new commercial. So although there's a lot of old buildings that are starting to be renovated, which will be good for the supply and hopefully the prices long term, and you do see, for example, in Lisbon, a lot of cranes, but many of those cranes are rehabilitating older buildings versus building new, is that there wasn't a lot of new projects here. So now, as there's still a rush to move to Portugal and to enjoy this great country, it's been a little difficult for people to find affordable accommodations. So I wish I had some good news saying, the NHR, when that went away, everything plummeted. It just isn't the case. More supply out there, but there's more demand too, which is equated into inflated rent prices. So just be aware of it. Make sure you're factoring that in when you're looking at what a total budget might be when you're looking to move to Portugal. As always, thank you so much for watching and enjoy your travels.